Welcome back to Horror History, the podcast where we uncover the darkest, most mysterious stories from history and beyond. I'm your host, Vigilante, and today we're diving into a case that has puzzled investigators and armchair detectives alike for nearly 2 decades. This story doesn't involve a long-forgotten historical figure or a sinister killer lurking in the shadows. Instead, it's a haunting, modern-day mystery. A man who walked into a bar and never walked out. So dim the lights, grab your favorite drink, and take a seat at the bar. But keep an eye on the exits. This is Horror History, Season 1, Episode 17, The Disappearance of Brian Shaffer, the man who vanished into thin air. Brian Shaffer seemed to have everything going for him. Born in Pickerton, Ohio in 1979, Brian was smart, kind, and ambitious. He was pursuing a career in medicine, studying at Ohio State University's College of Medicine. Brian's life wasn't without its challenges, though. Just weeks before his disappearance, he suffered the devastating loss of his mother to cancer. A blow that deeply affected him. Despite his grief, Brian was known for his charisma, charm, and a love of music, particularly from the band Pearl Jam. On the night of March 31st, 2006, Brian decided to blow off some steam. It was the start of spring break, and he planned to celebrate with his friend William Clint Florence. They started their evening at dinner before heading to the Ugly Tuna Saloon, a popular bar in Columbus's Arena district. Brian and Clint were later joined by Meredith Reed, a friend who offered to drive them home. The three of them drank, laughed, and mingled with other patrons at the Ugly Tuna. Surveillance footage from the bar's entrance captured Brian talking to 2 women around 1:55 a.m. on April 1st, 2006. After their brief conversation, Brian re-entered the bar, heading up the escalator, and then he vanished. When Brian failed to return home or contact anyone, his friends and family grew alarmed. By Monday, April 3rd, he was officially reported missing. Police quickly began their investigation, focusing on the Ugly Tuna Saloon. The bar was equipped with multiple surveillance cameras, and footage clearly showed Brian entering the establishment. However, no footage captured him leaving. Detectives meticulously reviewed the tapes, considering every possible exit. Could Brian have left unnoticed? Perhaps through a back door or service area. The building's layout made this unlikely, as all exits were covered by cameras. Adding to the mystery, Brian's belongings were untouched. His car remained parked near his apartment, and his credit cards and the bank accounts shown no activity. Even his phone stopped transmitting signals after the early hours of April 1st. Theories began to swirl. Had Brian met with foul play? Was he the victim of an accident, somehow falling and becoming trapped in an unseen area of the building? Or had he voluntarily disappeared, leaving his old life behind? Brian Shaffer's case has sparked countless theories, each as intriguing as it is unsettling. One states foul play. Some believe Brian was the victim of a robbery gone wrong, or a random act of violence. However, the lack of physical evidence or any signs of a struggle at the bar challenges this idea. Next, accidental death. Could Brian have accidentally fallen into a hidden or restricted area within the Ugly Tuna? Extensive searches of the building and its surroundings yielded no sign of him, making this theory unlikely, but not impossible. Number 3, voluntarily disappearance. The timing of Brian's disappearance had led some to speculate that he chose to vanish. Grieving his mother's death and facing the pressures of medical school, perhaps Brian sought an escape. This theory is controversial, as Brian was deeply connected to his loved ones, particularly his girlfriend, Alexis Wagner, who he was rumored to be planning to propose to. And last but not least, the supernatural. Although less grounded in evidence, some have proposed supernatural explanations, such as abductions or encounters with otherworldly forces. These theories often emerge in cases where logical explanations seem to fall short. Nearly 2 decades later, Brian Shaffer's case remains one of the most baffling unsolved mysteries in recent memory. Over the years, false leads and unverified sightings have occasionally reunited interest, but none have led to answers. One of the most haunting aspects of this case is the absence of closure. Brian's father, Randy Shaffer, dedicated years to searching for his son, but tragically passed away in 2008, never learning what happened to Brian. Today, Brian's disappearance continues to be suspect of documentaries, podcasts, and online forums. It's a case that raises more questions than answers. How can someone vanish in a world full of surveillance cameras and digital footprints? And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Brian Shaffer's disappearance is a chilling reminder of how fragile our sense of security can be. One moment, we're surrounded by people in a bustling bar. The next, we're gone without a trace. As always, we want to hear your thoughts on this case. Do you think Brian vanished voluntarily, or is there something darker at play? Let us know on social media, and don't forget to rate and review Horror History wherever you listen. Until then, stay curious, stay cautious, and as always, stay safe. Peace.